a challenging spirit within Honda. It gives us the courage to go faster and the thinking to make it real. Whether it looks like a truck, a sedan, or an SUV, inside is the heart of a race car.
Hungry for SVRA action? Well, the best way to enjoy classic auto racing is with a delicious classic from Mission Foods. Green flag your race-watching snacks with Mission's mouth-watering race day recipes. Try some of our tasty tacos, piled high nachos, fresh chips with guac, and more. So gear up your ride and fuel up those stomachs with delicious Mission Foods. Now that's too fast, too tasty.
Hey everyone, welcome to the pre-grid of F4. The engine's just starting up, and these are the future stars of F4 and potentially FR. I just want to point out just how international we are. We've got a competitor for the first time, Ariel Elkin from Israel. He's been racing in Europe, big way from him, got the flag on, got his representation, great to have him. New South Wales and Australia represented. Melbourne, Australia, in Jesse Lacey, who's been part of the series throughout the season. We've got a couple of competitors here from Canada. We've also got Christian Cantu in the number 88 right over there. He's just won both the F4 races in Mexico and has come hot-footed to here in America. Our championship leader by 66.5 points because of half points in Road America is Patrick Woods-Toth. He's representing Canada, and I just want to say something very blunt. He's not Latifi, he's not Lance Stroll, he doesn't have the money, he needs some sponsorship. Orlando are on board, but this is the future. Scott Goodyear swears by him. He's going to be a big star from Canada. We just need to get behind him, and he's about to wrap up the championship. That said, America's Titus Sherlock over there in the distance is pole for this race, and he and Michael Costello are equal in second place, so they're going to be going for it. Daniel Cara just missed out on pole position. He too will be vying for the best result of his season, so it's all to play for. All eyes though on Titus Sherlock, because obviously with that pole position he's got a chance of making a name for himself. As I mentioned earlier, Patrick Woods-Toth really just had to finish this race, but Titus Sherlock took his first pole position and he's ready to go. You can see the lid there. He was in commentary with me earlier, so wish him well. But a host of international youngsters all hoping to make it to Formula One, and this is the track they want to race in, what, 5 years or so. Remember the names, they're coming at you.
Well, Jonathan, thank you so much. And speaking of such an international series as F4 United States Championship, I am joined by FR drivers, Manuel Rosa from Mexico City and Callum Hedge from New Zealand. And Callum Hedge, I'm excited to say and honored to say, clinched the championship today. Callum, how does that feel? It's official.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's been a super long season, and to finally clinch it here in the last round at a very cool facility, very cool circuit of the Americas. Can't ask for much more.
And Manuel, I met your parents in, I think, Road America. They were watching you, and we were filming and making the videos and everything. But you're here all the way from Mexico. Didn't get to do the whole season. But Callum was giving you a hard time about Mexican food because we were talking about Mission Foods and Juan Gonzalez and hoping for some support there. So, Juan, if you're watching, definitely give him a look. But Callum wanted to know if you wanted to go to Taco Bell later. Is that true?
Good to be here in the booth. Right, as Callum said, really iconic circuit. Callum Hedge says that Taco Bell is real authentic food.
Mexican real authentic food. Yeah, exactly.
I think I'm gonna. I'm not gonna say what I'm gonna do to him.
Yeah.
But
you caused a national crisis right now.
Are you going to pass on my offer?
I probably am gonna.
Wow.
But wasn't it was Scott Dixon and Frank Keedy? They got held up at a Taco Bell after Dixon won pole at the Indy 500 about 5 or 6 years ago.
I actually remember this. I think I was like 10 or something, and I remember seeing it on the New Zealand Motorsport Herald or whatever it was. And I remember seeing an article of Scott Dixon being held at gunpoint in Indianapolis.
Yeah, and they went to Taco Bell to celebrate getting pole for the Indy 500. How cool is it? So now they're doing their formation lap. Let's get down to business, gentlemen. So Patrick Woods-Toth can clinch the championship here. He's got the support of Ron Fellows in the paddock, a Trans Am legend and crosslink Kiwi. He has been the one to beat all season long, hoping to move up like we were talking about in FR if he can find the sponsorship. But somebody that everybody really has their eyes on. So when you're coming through and all the pressure's on you, starting 4th on the grid in such an important race, what are you thinking, doing this formation lap, or are you trying to just think about this as any other race? What's your strategy here?
I think what's important here is just focus on what you need to do, right? Get the formation lap is all about getting temperature into your tires, getting ready for the start, thinking about what you're going to do, where drivers are going to be going, what type of line you're going to be taking into turn 1 right here at Circuit of the Americas. Really difficult to judge that blind turn 1 after that heavy braking zone. A lot of drivers might be heading to the inside there, so just this formation lap is a moment to think about exactly what you're going to do heading up that hill into turn 1.
Can you plan for turn 1 after the lights go out?
I don't think so, really. I think the FR race this morning showed exactly that. I'm not sure, I can't remember his name. I think was it Cole Kleck?
Yeah.
I think Cole Kleck, and the orange car was behind me, and I thought he was far enough back where I couldn't get attacked. And then all of a sudden I come around the exit of turn 1 and he's on my outside and didn't know where he come from. So you can't predict it. It's a wide open corner and there's so many different lines. So it should be all to play for.
Yeah, right here, Patrick Woods is going to be starting 4th. I think he just needs to maintain his position, right? I don't think he needs to really fight for anything right now. He just needs to clinch that championship. He has 3 races this weekend to do so. A lot of... Right now, Kara is 2nd, I believe, right behind Titus Sherlock on pole. So that's going to be interesting to watch into turn 1. A big field of drivers today here in F4.
And want to thank Ben for covering for me while I went down the grid and had a look at some folks here. Well, welcome, gents.
Hey, mate.
I'm keeping the international field going. Did you notice how I led with Israel, Australia? Now I've got Mexico and Auckland, New Zealand. Love it. More importantly, I've got our new 2023 Formula Regional Americas champion, Callum Hedge. Welcome and well done.
Thanks for having me.
It was 12 wins, isn't it, so far? He said 13. It's 12, right?
I do not know.
Who cares? Doesn't matter. And Manuel Rosa, where are they cheering you on?
I think in Mexico City. They're cheering me on. A lot of different places in Mexico. I know that I'm leading a lot of people.
Did you go to the Grand Prix?
I did not. I could not. I was out doing work for sponsorship for this race.
Good man.
So I couldn't really go, but yeah, excited. I see some familiar faces in the form of Christian Cantu.
Yeah.
I did some racing with him last year in F4 NACAM. Great to see him over here in the States as well.
Yeah, I had a quick chat with him, 16-year-old Cantu, and he had a heck of a weekend at the Mexico Grand Prix because he won both races, even with reverse start and starting from the pit lane. So he really did put on a show, and everybody noticed, and now he's come here to the United States. So we wish him well. Watch out for the 88. But we've got a host of youngsters. But really, there's no beating about the bush. Patrick Woods-Toth, a bit like Callum, to be fair, only really needs to get out there and finish this race, and the championship's his, because 66.5, the 0.5 being from Road America, or at least 3 races, I think, that has sort of half points given to them. So should be no problem. Where did you start from, Callum? Which side of the grid?
I started on the inside, on the left-hand side.
Okay, that's
and it
interesting.
actually seemed very grippy.
5 red lights.
That's funny, because all the Formula One races in the last 6 years, the guy on the inside has got a better start, and so that's why they've moved it for this weekend. So the guy in pole does get the more grippy start, but the race line, as you can see, is with the 27 as he goes around the outside. But that's supposed to be the old pole position, because that is the race line. But we are underway in our first feature race of Formula 4.
Clean through turn 1.
Nice clean race start.
I think Titus Sherlock kept first position there. Gotta maintain that pole position, right? Kept the inside line, very easy to hold. Right now, it's just sort of finding your footing. I think Patrick Woods-Toth is up to 3rd now.
Already, yeah. Good start from him. Michael Costello's the one that surprised me. Obviously, he and Titus Sherlock going for 2nd in the championship. Well, mathematically, they could win the championship if Woods Toth has a problem or so in these next 3 races, but it looks as though they'll be fighting. They're on equal points at the moment. But Costello had a real nightmare in qualifying. A bit like Verstappen, track limits at 19, so it can get you. Were you worried at all, either of you, about track limits? I'm sure Callum was a bit worried, weren't you?
We did get sometimes lead it in practice, but there's
two cars off. That's two Jay Howard cars.
That's 3 cars actually.
3 cars in total,
and
debris
on the left rear.
Yeah,
that's number 7, Eric Winsleck.
Yeah, the youngster. Could be a safety car.
Could be a yellow flag, depending on the damage or if there's debris on the track.
We'll soon
Meanwhile,
find out.
That looks like Patrick Woodstoth on the outside of Cara, trying to make a move happen into turn 12 and now into turn 13. Has the inside line.
Nice move.
But D car holds him on the outside and retains second place. This is amazing for Titus Sherlock now, because while they're fighting, he can take good race lines and just scurry on away.
Yeah, it's always nice when you've got 5 guys fighting behind you, because they're going to slow each other down and let him go, aren't they?
But the 2 guys behind, I think Sharipa and Jesse Lacey, that's a caution. They're going to be waiting for the fights to happen.
Well, that's because we've got a broken left suspension.
Number 5.
Number 5.
That's Tanner DeFabis.
Yep.
Out of the race with what looks like rear left suspension damage.
Tell you what, while we're under safety, I do want to ask Callum that. So we moved. I was surprised to hear that the pole position was on the inside, because obviously, if you watch Formula One, I'm sure you did, the guy on the inside is not pole position, because as you can see as they come now, the racing line is what you're looking at right now. The guy you're coming up the hill now, that's the racing line. But you found grip. There's good grip.
I wasn't actually expecting it to be that grippy, because generally the inside, where the cars don't run on, is not the grippiest side of the road. And for me, I got a really awesome start this morning. Had all drive, no wheel spin. So see if we can do that again today.
I know you probably have been ruining it since VIR, but we're happy to have you here, because you could have wrapped it up. You were 19 minutes away. Did you go home and, well, you haven't had time to think about anything, have you? You were straight back off to Australia and in the thick of it again in Adelaide, right?
And in between that, we did a test in Indianapolis with the Indy Next car. So I went home from Virginia, stayed home for about 4 days, went to Indy, then...
How did that go?
Yeah, that was very cool. What an amazing car that is, and it was so fun to drive. Enjoyed playing with the roll bars in the car, the brake balance, having a bit more downforce and a bit more power. So I really enjoyed driving that, and it was really fun.
Well, listen, we're going to take a short break while we're under caution. You're not going to miss any of the action, so stay with us wherever you're tuning in around the world. Manuel Rosa and Callum Hedge, our new 2023 FR champion. Join us after this break.
Hungry for SVRA action? Well, the best way to enjoy classic auto racing is with a delicious classic from Mission Foods. Green flag your race-watching snacks with Mission's mouth-watering race day recipes. Try some of our tasty tacos, piled high nachos, fresh chips with guac, and more. So gear up your ride and fuel up those stomachs with delicious Mission Foods. Now that's too fast, too tasty.
You've got a business to run, big and heavy products to ship, and customers who need them now. When you've got the right driver and the right equipment, you can bet on a spectacular result. Bennett understands complex logistics and puts the best team, the most time, and the latest technology into every customer relationship. So you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the race. Let us handle the rest.
Together, we can move anything.
Welcome back to Circuit of the Americas. It's a beautiful day here, and in fact the cold weather that said it was going to be here is not. It's nice and warm as it was for Formula One. Not quite as hot as it was for Formula One, but a fantastic weekend of over 432,000 people here for that race. And if you wanted to know Formula One is making a name for itself in America, I think that's enough to let you know. But I've got 2 very interesting cats alongside me, one from Mexico, one from New Zealand. And how have you enjoyed, first and foremost, leaving home and racing abroad here in America?
Well, it's the first time I've ever left Mexico, right, for racing. Even in karting, I only stuck in Mexico. So, big change, right, going from national competition to FR Americas, which is now international competition. And it's first of all, it's really cool to get to drive on legendary tracks that I have posters of in my room.
That's great.
But it's also a really big shift in the talent, right? The level of talent that this series hosts, right? I have Callum Hatch to my right here, who's obviously a very good driver, and there's just a very overall quality. I think there hasn't been any big crashes, right? The racecraft is good, the racing is good, and everything is just, right, very good overall. So I'm very happy about driving FR Americas for most of the season, and we'll see what we do for 2024.
And Callum, I've watched you since you won Formula Ford, like the great Scott Dixon did back all those days ago. But
many moons ago.
Many
now,
moons ago,
it?
I know. But you haven't done a lot of travelling. I mean, you have this year. But what was your? I mean, when I remember seeing you at NOLA, and you were like eyes wide open, like you didn't know really what to expect. But how's the season been?
This year's been pretty crazy for me, like up until realistically. This year I raced in Australia, lived in Australia for 2 years. That was the furthest away I had ever been from home. And that wasn't too bad. It was a 2-hour flight back home, and you don't need a visa, you don't need anything. Surprised you even need a passport to fly between New Zealand and Australia. So it was a big culture shock to come over to America, spend a bit of time over here. It's my 7th visit to the USA this year, so I'm a lot more comfortable with the environment, understanding how it all works there. The culture's a bit different, people are a bit different to what I'm used to back home. So getting my head around all that has been really cool, and I've been enjoying it here a lot.
You know, I was saying in commentary during your race, you know, I'm always amazed to hear Shane Van Gisbergen, you know, talking to Liam Lawson, a good friend of yours and a good competitor of yours. But, you know, Scott McLaughlin, I mean, is there any of the drivers that you grew up with that you keep in touch with on the way up?
Not so many of them. A lot of the drivers that professional from New Zealand they're all sort of before my generation. Liam Lawson's sort of the earliest of my generation. We first met each other when we were 6 or 7. We don't keep in very close contact, but whenever I'm at the track in New Zealand, we'll say good day. I lived with Brian Wood.
Yes,
he's a now Viet Supercar driver back home last year. He's been a good friend of mine for quite a few years. We crashed many times in go-karting, but now we get along like a house on fire, and he's a good lad.
And Bamba, another Kiwi, but very similar approach that you had, which was single-seaters and then jumping into, the rest is history, as we know, with Bamba. But he was single-seaters for a long time.
Yeah, he was. I think it was A1GP, TRS for a number of years.
He was commentating with me on that darn F Formula series, and they stole him from my commentary booth because he had his helmet.
How rude.
I know. I was actually a little bit miffed, actually. But, you know, hey, let him go.
Can't win them all, can you?
But good racing scene in Australia?
Yeah, very, very good. Racing in the Porsche Carrera Cup there. And this year's probably been the most competitive lineup for the Carrera Cup Australia Championship, I think, ever. There's a lot of main game Viet Supercar drivers ending their careers in the main game and they're doing their co-drivers for Bathurst 1000, Sandown 500.
Yep.
Hopefully the Gold Coast 600, that needs to come back ASAP.
Yep.
So it's cool to be racing guys that have been racing in Viet Supercars. They've won the Bathurst 1000, they've won the championships there. And it's cool to learn off their experience around those tracks. I've been teammates with Dale Wood, David Russell, and Garth Tander.
Oh, yeah.
Those names probably not so common
over
here in the USA. But over there, they're very cool, and it's very cool to be racing against them, learning off them, and be working together as a team for a whole season.
Well, you're listening to Callum Hedge and Manuel Rosa of Mexico, and we are in our feature race for Formula 4. We're under caution, that's why we're chatting away. I want to point out, we've got, we're talking about Mexico and Australia and obviously New Zealand, but we've got Cantu from Mexico here. Good to see so many coming over. We've got Quimby coming in from New South Wales this weekend for the first time. Elkin, who I mentioned earlier, from Israel, he's been doing F4 in Italy. Jesse Lacey from Melbourne. We've got quite a few cars and drivers from all over the world here. So I'm really pleased to see so many up against our American boys. And I think that's important, is that as well as you guys testing yourselves, you mentioned it, Manuel, I think we're about to go green again, but, they basically need to test yourself against the very best you can. And if that is not at home, then go international. And we are doing just that here as we get ready to go racing again. Important restart this for Sherlock. Cara missed out on pole position by 0.006 of a second.
And we're going green again.
We are going green, and away they go. Now, can Cara do something here?
Here's a very good jump.
Yeah, he got a nice little
He's going to be on the outside. Tyler's going to have to protect the inside.
It's going to be nip and tuck, isn't it? When it almost is, they almost touch wheels.
He's forcing him inside. That gives the position to Patrick.
I think it will, won't it? And he's had to go wide now. So
Jesse Lacey,
wide, yep.
Jesse Lacey also fighting with Elkin, I believe, further down the pack. And I believe Titus Sherlock did keep first position, and Cara did also keep second.
Good restart though, and boy, they're bouncing over the curbs. Titus Sherlock got that position back, despite the fact that the 10 pushed him all the way. And it is Daniel Cara. There he is, the Brazilian American, he calls himself. Bouncing off the walls he was earlier this weekend. I had a quick chat with him. Patrick Woods-Toth in a good position in third, but it's been that way. The man who leads by 66 points coming into this one. And it's a double-edged sword, Callum, when you've got that kind of lead. Everybody says, oh, you're a shoo-in, but you knew from VIR. It can all go horribly wrong very quickly, can't it? So,
yeah, most certainly. We were looking forward to the Sunday race at Virginia, and we were got halfway through it, and boom, on the radio, I think it was Paul Pilch, we're all pretty happy. We're just cruising along, conserving the tyres to the end, and then, yeah, you never know what happens. Sometimes you can't win them all, and that's the way racing is. It doesn't always go your way. And that was a learning experience, and we had to come into the last round fighting for the championship with Brian.
Here comes Woods-Toth for second, and he's got it. Nicely done at 12. That's a classic overtake at Coda, and he made it stick too. Nicely done past Daniel Cara.
At a very popular place too, the turn 12, and that is someone going up the inside.
That's Ariel.
Turn 13,
Elkin.
Brave move that. He's holding it around the outside as well into now turn 15. This is tough. And Jesse Lacey's now fighting for that as well. 3 wide into that corner. Beautiful,
this is good.
Beautiful
good
racing. Jesse Lacey goes wide as well. And now he'll have the inside for that triple right-hander, the carousel. Very complicated turn to get right. And he's on the nose of Jesse Lacey there.
Yeah, all over him as they go through 18. I love the drone. Really tells you just how close they are. You can see these 2 distinct groups. We've got 7 in the first group. 6 in the first group, excuse me. And then we've got, like 10 or so in the second group as they come into 20. Track limits are a factor, and hello, did they not all go over track limits, the top 3 then? No.
I think the track limit is the curbing, not the white line. So I think they're all within what they're allowed there. But my God, Jesse Lacey all the way up to the inside. He's not making it easy. He's going to cross the pit line.
And that's not a good thing either. So we'll see.
Maybe got a bit of dirt on the tires because it's off the line. Cannot get the move done.
16 minutes to go, and they are using all the track and more, and I'm sure Scott Goodyear and his team will be watching very closely on exactly how and where they go about it. Cantu not showing yet. He's still down in 14th position, but this is his first time here, and looking forward to see what he can do. And just 16, says he wants to race here in the States, a bit like yourself, Manuel, next year, and I think that's a good move on his part. Great to see Greenmeyer, Hannah, up there in 12th position. She's had a good couple of races at VIR, now here, and starting to come good, as is Tyke Durst, currently in 9th position. Costello's done well. He started 14th, he's up to 8th, and I spoke to him before. He was caught for track limits, and that's why he started in 14th. Now he's chasing second in the championship, and of course, that's going to be tough from 14th, but he's up for it. Field spread out now.
Yeah, right. We're in a bit of a draft train. It looks like Woods-Toth is going to try to make something of that draft, of that massive back straight with Titus Sherlock. Stays behind him for now, but that might be trouble for Sherlock later if he cannot get away, because this draft is massive, right? It's a massive back straight, have a lot of places to overtake, and the F4 cars don't have that much dirty air behind them, which is a problem, for the big cars, for the F1s. You can also start seeing some remnants of it in the FR. But these cars, right, they're very easy to follow through, so they produce this really close racing that we're seeing here.
I've got to say, I bet neither of you have driven down a long back straight that long before, wherever you've raced, because that is one of the longest back straights, and on these small F4 cars, it would be a great place to get a draft.
Taratonga front straight might give it a good run through.
Fair point.
I think Mexico's Toro Manuel Rodriguez.
I'm totally wrong. Why did I even open my mouth? But there you go.
Yeah,
fair enough.
It's still a pretty long straight, and the thing is, it's a very heavy braking zone, so it's perfect for overtaking.
I enjoy that Mexican track. I really do. I think it's got a lot going for it. It's a tough track, but I really enjoyed the racing there last weekend. Yeah, so then, still, Jesse Lacey picking out on the 16. Oh, go on, Jesse.
Nice work. And gets the move done. He's going to have to watch out for the over-under, but no, gets it done into turn 2.
Yeah, and an interesting weekend for the young Israeli, Ariel Elkin. I had a quick chat with, I think it's his dad. I didn't have a chance to ask him, but yeah, this is their one and only race here in the States. They've been racing in F4, and obviously it's a great place to learn, and a little bit of European experience, a little bit of American experience, and obviously I think Roy Nassani, Ido Cohen, I think that's about the only 3 Israeli drivers I've ever heard of. So not many around, but the ones that are made it up to, well, one was a reserve driver, and another one was in F2, I believe, and certainly did the TRS series. So have made their way. So we look for the next one, and that is Ariel Elkin.
Looks like the first 4 have gotten a bit of a gap to the rest of them, but it looks like I think Kara was under attack from Soda Sharipa, or at least he was very close. I think he's gonna. Yep, Soda Sharipa trying to go up the inside into turn 12 there. Jesse Lacey also having to defend. Let's see what happens here into turn 12. Big braking zone on the outside.
Flicks out.
That's gonna be Elkin. Cannot get the move done.
Can't quite get it done, can he?
He's gonna try to go around the outside of turn 13. I don't think he's gonna work around that. Yeah, I think Jesse Lacey keeps the position for now.
Guys, you've probably seen this track 1,000 times. Oh, this is good racing. 14, and they're side by side. And Elkin's going to go the long way round. Now switch back. Go on, son. There, nicely done. Good racing. Where's the hard part to learn here? Or what kind of took you by surprise?
Well, I think the track is split into 3 very clear sections, right? So, for example, you have the very fast S's at the beginning, right, which are difficult to master because you need to have a bit of a flow of speed, right? Then you have, right, the big back stretch, and then you have the complex, right, starting from turn 12 all the way to turn 18, which is, you know, complicated to get right, and you know, it's a very fun track, I'll say that. But the comments about it are true. It's very bumpy out there, especially on the run up to turn 1, and especially on the back stretch on the run to turn 12. Very, very bumpy.
What did you like or not like?
I think whoever's designed this track has done a fantastic job. That first sector for me is one of the best pieces of road that I've probably ever driven on. That is super fun. I really enjoy the flat-out entry into the first kink on the left here that they're currently going through. The small lift for the right, holding 5th gear the whole way through. And for me, the first sector is really cool. And then you get a bit of a break. You have 2 long straights, 1 hairpin in the middle, and then it's all go for the rest of the lap. The second half of the lap is just as equally as full on.
Big moment there for Daniel Quimby, who almost lost the car.
He did, didn't he? Yeah, that was a big moment. Yeah, you'll be surprised to know it was a motorcycle rider, a former world champion from Texas, Kevin Schwantz, who had a big part in designing this track. And, of course, he was thinking in terms of motorcycle racing at the time, and the MotoGP guys love it here. But he also did a little Carrera Cup himself, did Kevin Schwantz. After he finished, he won the 93 World Championship. And he's from Texas, and he kind of drew it up on a napkin. There's a famous story on Facebook of them drawing it up, he and Tavo Hellman. And he just, you know, he wanted to get bits of the stadium section from Hockenheim and a little bit of the Maggots complex at Silverstone. You've got this triple apex at the end. Oh, that's a triple apex. That's a triple Piro. Who's gone round?
Jay Howard car, it looks like.
Another Jay Howard car. It's the number 3. That is Michael Bedoyes.
That may be another yellow flag.
Yeah, it could be if he's stuck.
I didn't see any visible damage.
Oh, look at these two. They're still at it.
They're still
he's got
going at it.
I'm told, so that's good.
That's not great in the bigger picture because they're fighting for a position, but because of this fighting, the top 4 are getting even farther away. So maybe just require a bit of teamwork there to catch up to the first 4. But right now, really exciting battle.
Yeah, I know. This race between Jesse Lacey and Ariel Elkin is brilliant. 5 and 6.
Looks like Woods Toth has been able to get a good run on Titus, right? We saw him very close to him. But it looks like, yeah, I think Soda Sharipa also got ahead of Kara there. We didn't quite see it on the stream, but Soda Sharipa now in the podium positions.
Yep, Soda Sharipa had a good weekend also at VIR. He's come good, and I think racecraft-wise, everybody seems to just improve as the year goes on. And so everybody's sort of dialed in, and sometimes it's a little too late because you've lost that champion points coming in perhaps at other races, but by now everybody is dialed in, and even though it's been a couple of weeks since their last race, everybody on good form here at this Formula 1 circuit, which seems perfect for F4. Plenty of room, plenty of runoff.
The cool thing about F4, right, is that you're a young driver and you get to drive on the same tracks, you know, as the big guys in Formula 1, and you know, all the top classes have come to the circuit of the Americas, so you know, knowing that you've been on the same ground as great drivers before you, it's just amazing, right? Even in the FR, the F4, right? You feel like privileged, right, to be at such an important track.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. And I know I was saying in the commentary, you did a fair bit of sim work, but it's nothing like the real thing, Callum.
No, definitely not.
Is there a track you pick out from all the hundreds you've been to this year? Is there one that you really thought, oh, this I like this?
There's been so many good ones that I've driven. Like starting off in Highlands, Highlands, New Zealand.
That's a great
track.
circuit.
That is an amazing circuit. The scenery backdrop there, you can't really beat that. I don't think there's any
that's
other
the best
circuit
backdrop in the world. Here we go, side by side again, these two. Israel gets the upper hand as through goes Elkin.
Onto Jesse Lacey, maybe he can
On
get
Jesse Lacey, yeah.
something back. But it looks like he's secured the move there.
Well, he's certainly making a name for himself here in the USA, and his front wing has the Israel and USA flags on. For obvious reasons. Obviously, Israel, the center of the planet at the moment, and Elkin flying the flag as he should. So besides Highlands, any others?
Highlands, Road America,
Yep.
Indianapolis, Circuit of the Americas.
Yep.
And last
Got to be
weekend,
one in Australia.
last weekend, Gold Coast,
Oh,
Surfers Paradise Street Circuit.
Can't beat that.
I missed Bathurst, Mount Panorama.
Oh, well, you got to do that.
I missed that for the VIR race, which was a shame. There's nothing like that place, so...
That's Jay Howard car in the pits.
Yeah,
I
that
believe
was the
that's,
Boyazides who spun round, yep.
Who we saw off a couple of minutes ago.
I have a feeling we butchered his name a little bit.
Maybe.
Is that something that commentators usually do, like butcher names? Right? Like, are you worried about butchering names?
All the time.
All the time?
Yeah. I'm about to do another one. But so the Shrieper scared me, and he's just gone past Woods Toth. You see, these double-barreled names are no fun either. Why can't you be Bob Smith? That's easy.
Bob Smith's easy.
Well,
Callum Hedge, easy.
Bob Smith, it sounds like a porn name.
Well, that's the trouble. You've never heard of it. Have you ever heard of a motor racing driver called Bob Smith? No.
No.
So that's why I go by my name's Johnny Green, right? That's no good. So I've gone with my Mexican race name, which is Juan Verde.
Cool.
See?
I like that more.
I've got a chance now, right?
Yeah.
So, just saying. Anyway, 24. Augusto. He likes to be called Oggy, though. Oggy Soto Shripa. He's from Florida and has South American background, but obviously the name. But hails from Florida. But that was a great move to get past our championship leader and probably champion in the making, because he is just a few laps away and a few minutes away from gaining more big points at another podium here. But it is Titus Sherlock, who's done a really good job under big pressure from several different drivers so far, who's holding on. The man from Prosper, Texas, originally from San Diego. And
it looks like Soto Sharipa is catching up to Titus, right? It looks like he has found a lot of pace in the car. Maybe he's going to be making the move, right? Because he's already gotten past Carr. He's already gotten past Woods Toth. What's stopping him from getting Sherlock as well?
good race here at the front, and like I said, racecraft at a premium right now in the last few rounds, and everybody wanted giving it their all. That's always what a racing driver will tell you. Their last race weekend is the one they want to finish on a high, because it just sets you up for a long winter or summer in Callum's case, of wondering what might have been. But today he's put that right and can go home as a champion, as many have in the past.
Right, get it. Maybe we'll see him next year in the FR America seat. Right, it's the natural progression from this series. So maybe a lot of drivers that you're seeing here will fill up the grid for FR Americas next year. Yeah,
I talked to Patrick about that. Patrick Woodstoth about that, and he said that's exactly what he wants to do next year. He's got Orlando and he's got Ron Fellows behind him. That's how he got discovered, if you will. Ron Fellows kart school. And he's got Moto Master as well as a sponsor, but he needs more. And he's just hoping that he can do FR next year. But that would be the progression. That's what Ryan Sheehan did. It's what Dakota Dickerson and Kyle Kirkwood now on their way to, particularly Kyle Kirkwood in Indy, on to bigger and better. Rasmussen, so many, Linus Lundqvist. It's great to see these guys succeed and move on. 4 minutes to go then. Perfect sunshine of Austin, Texas here, running through the hills of Elroy, Texas. But Titus Sherlock from Prosper, Texas, doing the business at the moment and leading the way.
He seems very strong in that first sector there.
Yeah.
Titus managed to pull about 2 or 3 car lengths on
Soto Sharipa.
Augie.
Yep.
In that first sector there. and then he's able to close back up in the toe there. So it's going to be a bit frustrating for him, and it looks like he's got a pretty good run, so we'll see if he can defend here.
Here we go. Now he is under pressure because Oggy, as he's called, is on the outside. He might do the switch back and try to, but Woodstoff is thinking about it too, and waiting like a praying mantis, Daniel Cara in the 10.
He's just waiting for something to happen.
He's waiting for them all to clip each other.
So he's right there just in case something happens. He's right there to take the positions away from him. So it's very important these three don't make mistakes, because a mistake means you're no longer on the podium or you're no longer winning the race. Right, Patrick Woods just needs to hold the position. I think that clinches him the championship, I'm pretty sure. So, big race for him. He doesn't really need to do much more than this unless he wants a better result. But in terms of the championship, that's all he needs to do.
Knowing what you know about the circuit now, boys, where would you make, if you were in second or third now, where would you make your move? And when?
For me, it's after the back straight. I feel like if
at
you
12.
can get it, at 12, if you can get a run along that straight, get a move, and then not get switched back over on the underneath on the exit there. There's not as many passing opportunities in the second half of the lap, so that could give you a chance to.
But wait until the second to last lap or the last lap? Risky.
Second to last lap.
Yeah, second to last lap.
I'd rather head into the final lap leading the race and go for the defensive than try to make the move on the last lap.
I think I like turn 1, because even if you get switched back, you have that inside line for turn 2, and it's very hard to go around the outside because you have the very fast S's next. So it's very difficult to hold the position if you're on the outside there. But yeah, as well, turn 12, turn 1, turn 12, best overtaking spots here as well, because especially turn 12, because the FR America's car, right, you can sort of arrow wash your opponent and he'll be farther away for next lap. 2 minutes, maybe this is the lap we're seeing right now, and next lap will be white flag.
Yeah, should be. I would say so. I'm guessing so. You never know how quickly they get round and just exactly at what point we'll be at. It'll either be one more lap in the white flag, or it'll be white flag this time.
It looks like Soto Sharipa is closer to Titus this time. That toe might be big for him, but I don't think Titus will allow it that easily, right? He will defend, so you got to think about that, because if you start fighting, you're going to start losing time, and maybe 5th place can get involved, or even Jesse Lacey up there in 6th can start to get involved. If you start fighting too hard, you'll just lose so much time. And
I've just got the message that it will be white flag this time round, so it's going to be a real last lap dash, and there's 4 guys in it. It's Sherlock, Soto Sharipa, Woodstoff, the championship leader, and Daniel Cara in 4th position. Sherlock, remember, looking at preserving his 2nd place, and with Costello up to 7th. Oh, big mistake!
That's the move over the inside from Soto Sharipa. Titus will go wide, but he'll have the inside for the carousel. Soto Sharipa looking like he wants to make that move right now.
He certainly does.
Now we go. Now I'm back on the mic.
Yeah.
I was just saying that it looks like it could be a really exciting final lap here.
Well, as you can see it from above, coming into 20, the final corner on this track, we've got one last lap dash, a showdown in Texas, a shootout, if you will, between the man from Prosper, Texas. He drove down here, looking in his mirrors right now, and he's got hard charging Soto Sharipa and Woodstoff.
Also watch for Cara.
Cara's coming
too. Be fighting for a podium there. Patrick Woods taking the inside line. I think it's going to be 2 fights we're going to be seeing here: Sherlock versus Soto Sharipa, and Woods versus Cara for that final position of the podium. Maybe Elkin can get involved if they start fighting too hard. Look, on the outside, they're at turn 2. Right now, Sherlock holding, and Soto Sharipa will just see if he can get a move done on the last lap of the race. I don't think Titus is going to allow it that easily, right? You know it's the final lap. You know you have to defend because a race win is on the line.
Yeah, this is great racing, and Titus Sherlock really doing a really good job here. He's come good in VIR. He really showed with what, 4th, a 5th, and a 6th there, which put him in contention. In before that, he hadn't really thought about the championship. He'd been midfield, but now suddenly finds himself in that fight for not just the championship, but also to finish 2nd overall.
Look at this, Elkin on the nose of Cara now, as I said, right? They started fighting too hard, and now Elkin has gotten involved. It looks like it's going to be one final run from Soto Sharipa into Titus Sherlock.
Here we go, down the famous back straight here at COTA. You've got the slipstream, and that's exactly what he's using, the 24. Soto Sharipa jinks out and has now got a nose ahead. If he can brake late, he should just turn in ahead of the 31, but late braking by Titus Sherlock. Great stuff.
That might be the race-winning move right there. What a defense from Sherlock.
See how aggressive Sota Shripa goes in the last few corners here. We saw.
Well, he made that move coming up,
had
didn't
a
he?
go down here on the previous lap.
Let's see if he does it again. He's looking
goes
for
on the
it.
outside. Titus definitely defended. He learned from that last lap. He probably is thinking about how Sota Shripa just threw one down the inside. And I think Titus just has
Shut
it.
that one down, didn't he?
Titus just has. I think Titus has it on the line. He just needs to cross it, and it's going to be, I think, Patrick Woods who keeps third, and I think he might be.
That will be making the champion, yeah. And so, yeah, good defensive driving, as Callum pointed out. Better to have that last lap in the lead because you can control the race there. And last corner, he thought about it, did Sota Shripa. But it's going to be Titus Sherlock of Texas that wins, takes the checkered flag at home. And that's a great drive from the man from Prosper, Texas.
Also
racing
great drive.
for Kiwi teammate of yours, right?
Yeah, that was a very good drive by Titus Sherlock. He was under pressure from lap 1 to, I'm not sure how many laps we've done here, but he's been under pressure from 4 different cars in every different part of the race. So he's done a fantastic job, and congratulations to him.
Well, the big news is that Woods Toth only needed a 5th or better if Sherlock won, and that will put it there for him, and therefore Patrick Woods Toth of Quebec. Saint-Nazaire in Quebec is your new champion.
Congratulations to Patrick.
Congratulations to him and Orlando. Ron Fellows for spotting him. Scott Goodyear for also being part of that. The Canadians celebrating. Another next on the line from the Strolls and the Latifis and the Villeneuves comes another one.
I think props are in order for Sota Shripa. I mean, drove a fantastic race, got through Elkin, I believe, Cara and Patrick Woods, right? I think he just might have needed one more lap, right, to get through Titus, but just amazing drive.
And props also to Michael Costello, who was fighting with Titus Sherlock for overall honours in second place, got from 14th to 7th, just behind Jesse Lacey. But yeah, another great drive also from Ariel Elkin. First drive in the championship, and he's managed to take 4th position behind our champion. So very impressive indeed. Well, I gotta find out. The weekend's over in a while, boys, and you'll be off to bet bigger and better. What are your plans over the winter?
Right now, it's just focusing on sponsorship. Right,
Yeah.
I like to think, obviously my current sponsors, if I'm
Yeah,
allowed
go
to
for
say.
it.
Obviously Canelo, right? Fighter has supported me all of this year. Great support, great guy. Thankful for that. Also Takis USA, they give support for this race, as well as Scuderia Telmex, right? They have been supporting us as well. I'm now a part of their driver roster, and also Caranda Laguna.
Okay.
Some meat company from the north. Really happy that they allow me to be here with you this weekend, both in the commentary booth and in the FR America seat. So thanks to them.
And Callum, I'm sure you're off to Boulder, Colorado to get some Crocs, right?
Me? No, I'm going to get on the plane on Sunday evening after the prize giving.
I'll go get you Crocs. Don't worry.
I might even wear them to the prize giving.
Yeah, I think you should.
Then off to Portugal next week for the Porsche Junior Shootout in Portimao. So really looking forward to that.
I want to talk to you about that in a second. Titus Sherlock, your winner, confirms with Crosslink Kiwi Motorsport. What haven't they won in the last 5 years? It's incredible. Augusto Sota Shripa for International Motorsport takes 2nd. Patrick Woods Toth takes the championship and 3rd overall. Ariel Elkin of Israel takes 4th. Daniel Cara of Brazil and the USA takes 5th. Jesse Lacey of Australia takes 6th. Michael Costello is 7th for the USA, and then Daniel Quimby, the newbie from from New South Wales in Australia, is 8th. Keke Juanio is in 9th position. Tyke Durst rounds out the top 10. Quickly tell me about that next week. You're doing a test for Porsche?
Yeah, so this is their global junior shootout where all the champions of each country's Carrera Cup Championship will go to compete for a driving Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup. So it should be very cool to compete against some very, very good drivers. I've seen the lineup, and there's a lot of talent coming through.
Yeah, we're sending our own Texan over there with you. It was very funny, actually. I spoke to him, Riley Dickinson. We had Ryan Sheehan and Riley Dickinson on the show, and I said, you've got to come up against my mate Hedge next week. And he goes, I know. So good luck to you. But in a moment, we're going to head down to John Phippen, who's going to talk to our winners, our top 3, and our new champion, who gets his hat on. Remember the game, guys. Patrick Woods Toth. You heard it first here. This is where it all begins. You keep talking about drive to survive. This is the real deal. This is where you drive to survive. And this man has done just that. Let's head down now to John Phippen with our winners.
We're down here with the new champion, Patrick Woods-Toth, as he gets a hug from Ron Fellows. Patrick, congratulations. I can introduce you now as the 2023 F4 U.S. champion.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's been an incredible season so far. Coming into this weekend, we had a big points lead. We just had to finish it up, but the team has done an incredible job all year. I mean, my first year in car racing, and we came away with a championship, so I couldn't be happy enough.
It all started at the Radford Racing School with that scholarship. And did you even have a dream when you won that scholarship that you'd be here?
Honestly, I never thought I'd race a car in my life, so to be here is surreal for sure.
Congratulations. Anybody you'd like to thank before we move on?
Yes, thank you very much. I'd like to thank my team, of course, Orlando, Ron Fellows, everyone who's helped this year, my mechanic Glenn, my engineer Adam, my whole family, all my supporters. There's too many people to name them all, but thank you to everyone.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Patrick Woods-Toth, your new champion. Let's move right away to the winner of this race. Titus, you did everything you needed to do. You qualified on the pole and you kept the lead, but man, you had your hands full all race long.
Yeah, I just did exactly what I needed to do, stay out front, starting from pole, and yeah, I can't thank my team enough. It's been a great weekend so far.
Tell us a little bit about the battle between you and Augie there at turn 15. I think 2 laps from the end, he forced you a little bit wide.
Yeah, it was just good racing. I mean, the whole race I had maybe a couple car lengths gap, but yeah, the last 2 laps he was right on me, and it was very intense.
Well, thanks. Congratulations on your win, and we'll see you for race number 2.
Thank you.
Titus Sherlock, your winner, ladies and gentlemen. Johnny, it's all you.
Great stuff, and a very mild-mannered Mr. Sherlock there. Takes it in his stride. I like it. He said that's just good racing, and that was a very accomplished performance. We were obviously concentrating on what Mr. Ariel Elkin was doing. Titus, though, really does deserve a big hug. There he gets it, because that was some great driving at the front. It's never easy when you're fighting for a position, if not the title, to take that pressure, but he did it in style. Really well done to him. So, the wind blowing just slightly here. I say just slightly, to get a flag that big blowing, it's probably quite a fair old wind up there. If you've not been up the tower and if you've not been to Coda, come and see us. Austin, great city, live music capital of the world, and as you can see from all those cranes, it is going up exponentially. I got here, there was like 800,000 people about 10 years ago, and now there's 2 million, so it's a hell of a place to be, and it's now becoming also a real center for motor racing. Local teams sprouting up. S is here this weekend. We've got a champion in Carrera Cup. We've just seen Ryan Sheehan come runner-up here in the FR Championship, and then another Texan, Titus Sherlock, winning here in F4. So it's exciting times to be in Texas and to be part of racing, and the youngsters doing just that. So as we look high above the Austin circuit and the famous tower, we're just getting ready for the podium. In fact, we are ready for the podium. So let's head down once again to John Phippen, who is about to give out the prizes for our top 3. Let's head down to John.
Let's get our podium celebration underway. We'll bring up our 3rd place finisher. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2023 F4 U.S. champion, Patrick Woods-Toth. Patrick, you've had a great season. You had a pretty comfortable points lead coming into this one, so you knew all you had to do was finish in front of your closest pursuers, and you got that job done. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It was a good race. Titus did an awesome job. He helped me a ton to get away from the pack, and just stayed behind him, let him do his thing, and the team's done such an incredible job. We have the fastest cars here, and coming out with the championship on top of that is incredible. The team has done an amazing job. I'd like to thank my sponsor, Orlando, MRF, KC, Motomaster, Canadian Tire, and the whole team, of course. I mean, I just can't believe it.
Were there any team orders between you and Titus?
No. I didn't fight him too hard. He deserves the race win, though. I mean, he was fast all weekend, and he did a great job.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Patrick Woods-Toth, ladies and gentlemen, 3rd place finisher and your new champion. Let's bring up our second place finisher, a driver who is red hot at the end of the season, Augie Soto Sharipa, ladies and gentlemen. Augie, well done. You are a regular fixture on this podium. Great job.
Thank you. Yeah, it feels good to be up here once again. Like I always say, huge thank you to the team, all the boys from International Motorsport. Built a great car. Congrats to my teammate, first time out. He's doing really good, so I'm also happy for that. So yeah, first race went well. I'm looking forward to the second one.
Yeah, your car was really strong at the end of the race. You were able to make up a lot of places.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I actually lost my brakes. So the last section of the track was pretty tricky. It was pretty spongy, but it happens. I worked through it.
Anybody else to thank?
No, just the team, my parents, everyone that supported me to this point. A huge thank you to them.
Good luck this afternoon.
Thank you.
There's your second place finisher, Augie Soto Sharipa. And now the man of the hour came into this race second in the points. He knew he had to do his best job to stay in front. He qualified on the pole and finished in the front, and that is Titus Sherlock, ladies and gentlemen. Titus, I'm going to have to get up here with you because my arms are too short. Congratulations, win number 2 on the season.
Thank you. Yeah, super long and tough race. Just had to hold it from pole from the start, and yeah, just can't thank the team, everyone here, my mom, my uncle, everyone that comes out to support. Thank you all.
You were able to put a little distance between you and Michael as well. He had a pretty good recovery drive, but you are solo in possession of second spot now.
Yeah, coming into the weekend, that was the goal. We knew the championship's pretty much out of my hands, but second is in my hands, and that's what I need to focus on.
Good luck this afternoon.
Thank you.
There's your winner, ladies and gentlemen, Titus Sherlock. Hankook hats on all of our drivers. Thanks to Danny Von Dongen and the Hankook crew for doing everything they do to keep the racing happening here. And we also acknowledge all of our presenting sponsors at each of our podium celebrations. Thanks to Lucas Oil, who's a longtime sponsor of all things PMH. This one's near and dear to Patrick's heart, the Radford Racing School. They have an annual scholarship. Patrick was the winner, and look where it led. So thanks to Radford for their partnership with us, and we look forward to next year's graduate of the Radford Scholarship. Ligier hats go on all of our drivers. This is the last weekend for this car in this class, and it has served us well since 2016. And the Ligier crew is all here. And thanks to them for putting this fantastic race car together and for all the great racing we've enjoyed with it since the inception in 2016. And finally, Honda, another bittersweet weekend as we say goodbye to Honda as the title sponsor of this series. But they have been a partner in every conceivable way since the beginning of the championship. And Honda and HPD powering these cars and our FR cars since the beginning. So much for the hats. Now it's time for the real celebration, ladies and gentlemen. One more round of applause for your new champion, Patrick Woods Toth. Second place, Augie Soto Sharipa. And your winner, Titus Sherlock. Thanks so much. We'll see you for race 2.
And thanks to John Phippen. Yes, just alluding to the next race because that's coming up. We'll be showing you that on our live stream. Another 2 races to go for the weekend, 1 today, 1 tomorrow. But congratulations to our new champions, Callum Hedge of New Zealand and from Canada, Patrick Woods Toth. We're going to take a break and we'll be back with that next race in a couple of hours' time. So stay tuned and come and join us here on the live stream when we go back to racing in FR and F4 yet again. Until then, we'll see you soon.
Everything in our garage is inspired by our racing spirit. Race in for a great deal on the Honda CR-V. Only at the Honda Dream Garage Spring Event.